Hey you guys, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. This thing has open exhaust manifolds and I'm going to wake everybody up in the neighborhood.
Plus, we'll be going to the body shop to check out the incredible progress on the Black Diamond Charger.
Honestly, probably the worst car I've ever done. There was not one good panel on the car.
Nick's Garage is supported by Atlas Equipment and K-Tool International.
Hi, I'm Nick and welcome to my shop. If you guys remember this car, you know we do have a 64 Ford Galaxie XL that belongs to Francis. We brought it in with the 427 side oiler not long ago, and it was an issue with the carburetor, fuel, and everything. But now we have the original engine installed back in the car. We overhauled the carburetor, put fresh fuel in the tank, and it's got to start like it should. Anyways, you know, I've never driven a 64 Ford Galaxie. This is the first one, and this happens to be a 4-speed car from the factory. It is a beautiful car. It is a big car, 2-door, black on black. And of course, we left the points distributor to work with the MSD ignition because we don't want to remove anything else. So everything's well. So if you guys want to hear it now, it's going to start a lot easier than the time when he delivered it to my shop when I was in the trailer. And of course, today I need to deliver it to a muffler shop, which is down the street, to customize 2 pipes where now we have exhaust manifolds to the 390. They're going to hook up the H-pipe to the car. So this is going to be custom work. So my friend David is going to take care of that. So right now I'm going to get it started. It's going to be a little bit loud. I'm going to drive it down the street and then drop it off at the muffler shop and we'll take it from there. No seat belts in this car. Nice, beautiful day today. And this is on 64 Galaxie. Nice to see it run on its own. Early in the morning, time to wake up everybody. But it's okay. It's an industrial area. I'm sure that no one would mind. Okay, we're just about to be there. I've got David here who does a lot of our customizing and exhaust, from headers to exhaust manifolds, or from exhaust manifolds to headers. He does H pipes for me, he bends pipes, he does all my custom work. So I've got it right here now. So I'm gonna go see him, introduce him to this car I want him to work on, and we'll take it from there. David, hold this. That's all the hardware. Give me a second, I'm gonna disconnect the battery for you. It's a tight fit. Okay, let me open the hood. Let me show you, okay? I will disconnect the battery. This car had another motor with headers. Now I put the original motor with exhaust manifolds. And I need to open the trunk because it has the exhaust system from the headers, but you need to take the front pipe, convert it to a manifold to the pipe. I'll show you. I'm gonna open the trunk. That's all the hardware. You got the flanges, the gaskets, the bolt, flat washers, lock washers, everything. And the studs are on the manifold. So let me open the trunk. This is one. You see, these were for headers. So this you connect, and then over here you do what you want to put to the pipe, okay? And the studs are on the exhaust manifold. I want to keep it for today, tomorrow, not a rush. David, thank you very much. I'll leave it to you. And of course, David's done a lot of our exhaust work in the past few years. He does excellent work, and I gotta give him credit. And he's just as picky as I am, and that's the best part. We're walking back because I parked my Ranger here so I could drive back, but I forgot my keys are in the jacket. I left the jacket in the office, so it doesn't matter. Let me show you guys what's around the other side of the street. Here's the prison guard, provincial prison. That's a pretty big place. Lots of security. Look at all that fence. And this is the road I come down very often. You know, when it's after hours, this is a quiet street, and this is where I do a lot of my road testing. And snow is melting, or should I say the ice is melting, so I can get my cars back in the street. As a matter of fact, that's the first time I drove a car this year. Matter of fact, you know, no seat belts. Well, the car doesn't have any seat belts. Are the plates registered? I did not even know that. I just thought of it right now. Anyways, it's at David's place. Let him take care of it. And then when I get it back, we're gonna take a nice little drive with it. What do you say?
While we let Nick get back to work in his shop, let's head over to CGA Autosport, where Nick asked his bodyman George to take on the mind-boggling job of this 1970 Dodge Charger. It's been a couple of years since Stefan brought the remains of a Charger RT to Nick and asked him to do what many would call the impossible. Since then, Nick has been working on the powertrain, interior, and all the trim, while George and his team have been doing metal magic at CGA.
Hey guys, I'm George from CGA Autosport. So we've been working on the 1970 Dodge Charger. You guys most probably know it as Swiss cheese. And it was just that. And as we worked on the car, it just was worse and worse. Honestly, probably the worst car I've ever done. Let's take a look and see what it's come up to, and I'll explain to you the next step that we're gonna do to make this car into a beauty. Who knows? Maybe it'll be called Black Diamond one day. So right now, the body's been welded. The last time you saw it is when we were aligning the panels. The finishing has been done. It's pretty straight. This car has been block sanded over and over and over. We dollied, we hammered, we straightened out metal. And I'm pretty happy with the results. And we're gonna make it a little bit better and a little bit better up until the point that we get to paint. The rear panel, if you recall, was total garbage. It's rotted everywhere, it was banged, it was hit. We couldn't get a replacement panel, so what we did is we removed it, if you recall in the last video. We put it on a bench, we cut it up, we chopped it, we trimmed it, and we made a rear panel out of it. The last time you saw it, it was what it was. Right now it's a straight panel, it's all metal. All the cuts and welds were all butt welded, so it's a pretty nice panel. And I guess we'll see it once we put down the polyurethane filler. We'll get a much better view of what it's going to look like. It's impressive. These were the AMD quarter panels. As you can see, they took a lot of work. They were very wavy. I'm still grateful that quarter panels are available for this car, that we had something to work with. We've sharpened the lines on the car. As you can see, the lines are very sharp and crisp. They will be dulled out once we sand down the polyurethane, but this is a good way for us to see that the lines are straight, and that same line follows through the whole car. The doors were actually pretty good, dented and wavy, smacked and hit, but they were not rusted. It's the only good part of the car that was not rusted. They're nice doors right now. The fenders were what they were. They were smashed and hit. We had to unweld the inner liners so we can get inside, dolly them straight, and iron them out. Right now, this is a very straight car. And we're hoping to make it a lot straighter to accept the black paint that it's going to receive. And this is obviously the driver's side. It's the same story. Fender wasn't a prize package. All the lines have been sharpened. They will be dulled out again, but only once we put the polyurethane filler, we'll get a different view of the car. And even on this side, you can see how we've sharpened with the sandpaper all the lines so that we have nice, crisp, straight body lines. Believe that we're going to end up making a really, really beautiful car. The AMD aftermarket panels, we changed the roof, we changed a lot of panels on this car. The quarter panels, they actually didn't line up very well with the rear extensions. We obviously had a lot of adjusting to do. We had to manipulate the extensions, manipulate the quarter panels. Right now we have a very good fitting car. I guess you guys will see that later on in another video when the car is actually assembled and painted. The gaps, if you check the gaps, we've tried as much as we can to keep them all equal. It was not like that by factory. It took a lot of work, a lot of manipulation, and we got them pretty nice. You can check both sides, they're pretty equal. I mean, we didn't sit and measure them with a ruler, but, you know, we did pretty good. Not bad, eh? There was not one good panel on the car. Unfortunately, the best panel on the car was probably the doors, and you can see how much work they took. And on this particular car, or every car that we do, we use a little bit of machine, and then at the end it's all by hand. So it's time consuming. It's just time consuming, and eventually you just get fed up of it, but you kind of impressed with the finished product, so it gives you a little bit of energy to do a little bit more. The goal is to make a beautiful car for Stefan. I'm sure he'll get a beautiful car, and I'm sure he's going to be very happy with it once it's all said and done. Let's mix some polyurethane filler and let's spray and see what it looks like. So, what Mike is going to do is going to spray the polyurethane filler. Basically, the polyurethane filler is very similar to the putty that is on the car already. The difference is it's coming on as a liquid form. It's being applied far more equal and smooth. There's no overlap line. And the purpose to all this is trying to get the car as straight as we can so that when we block sand it once more time, we'll be able to find any highs and lows, we'll find any imperfections, and hopefully we'll have a really, really good surface that we can prime and paint onto. Let Mike do his thing, and I guess you guys will see what the results will be in a few minutes. So next day, the polyester filler has been applied on the Charger. At this point, we can see the lines much, much better. You can see how straight and crisp they are. The mess of the dark mess that's on the polyester is actually just black spray. That's a guide coat, so when we get back to sanding, we can see where we're going and then we can see any imperfections in the surface. You can see the body lines and the gaps far better today because it's more defined. And I'm not sure you can see how straight the lines are along the side of the car. But they're there, trust me, they're straight. And I guess when we finish painting the car, we'll all see it at that time. The rear panel actually looks amazing considering it was totally junked out. We're going to sand it. It's just going to get better from here. At this point, the car is only going to get better and better every time we put a sandpaper on it. We're really, really happy with the results of this car. It was a big challenge. Now we wait for it to dry. We're going to leave it 10 days. This thing will harden in 10 days. Right now it's dry to the touch, but it's definitely not hard. You can actually feel the humidity in it. It's not leaving any stains and it's not, my fingers aren't embedding in it. But I mean, you can see the straight line. They're a little too sharp right now. We're gonna dull them out, try to get them to factory spec or the roundness it was when it was factory built. We're gonna leave them a little bit sharper, just so it can be defined better. And that's the decision that we took with this car. I'm sure it will look great, and I have a feeling that by leaving them just a touch sharper, it's just gonna accent the body lines. There's just so many body lines on this car. It's just so beautiful. Stefan is going to be one very, very happy camper once it's all said and done. And now we have, from what was once Swiss cheese, a totally rust-free, beautiful, beautiful steel body. And you know what? This car is going to outlive all of us at this point. That's for sure. We have a limited lifespan, and this thing will be pampered and cared for and loved for the generations to come. So I don't see it deteriorating. I know the work that's been done on the car will last very, very long time if the car is properly taken care of and stored. Man, he's going to be happy. He's going to be happy. The car is just looking exactly as I had imagined it at the beginning. The lines are beautiful. Just see how nice the door opens and closes. We're going to hear the distinct clink, clink. No effort, no strain. Once the regulators and the windows and everything go into the door will get heavier. It will just work better because of the weight. Right now the alignment is so nice on this car. We still have ways to go, but we've chewed up the big part of it. The hardest part is done. And right now, it's just gonna be a pleasure to work on this car because every time we do something, it's just gonna get better. You know, at this point, the block sanding, we know it's like a 35-hour thing or 30 hours and it's done. Like there's no, oh, we found this, let's take care of this, we found that. We don't have that anymore. We've gone through the whole car. Right now, there's no more surprises. It's just sand it straight and leave it alone. This section here was badly damaged. Probably somebody had hit the mirror a long time ago and dented the door and probably a couple of times. So we dollied this straight and got it as best we can. And actually, if I push down the tape, you can see that we have almost no buildup. The only thing we see is a little residue from the polyester filler, which was stuck on the tape. But it's as thin as it was once, and you know what? It's perfect. So this section here was all destroyed. It was in an accident. What I ended up having to do is unweld this whole headlight pocket from the fender so I can access the sheet metal to dolly it straight. Now this was all destroyed, it was just all bashed in, if you recall from the original videos. Once I got these pockets out, these headlight pockets, I had access to go behind here and actually dolly the fender. The fender is actually right here where my hand is going. And we did such a nice job repairing this section and the outer section that at this point, look how beautiful the lip is. And this was once all caved in and destroyed. I think we did a pretty damn good job. We couldn't find a hood. We couldn't find a hood. And what ended up happening is we had to rebuild this whole section. It's not finished yet, but it's there and it will be beautiful. It was quite a complicated piece to make and at the same time retain all the stiffeners on the inside. The outer section of the hood was actually pretty good. It's very wavy and very dented. We will work on that next. While the polyester filler is drying, we're gonna attack the hood and the trunk lid. By the time we get to sanding that, this will be on polyester filler. And we're moving forward to get this car primed and painted. Don't forget, these are all chemicals, so a lot of it vaporized. Okay, and it's still vaporizing. So if I would sand this today, it's sandable, although it would be wet. Even if I would sand it tomorrow and I get a nice perfect finish, okay, 10 days from now, that perfect finish that I had just sanded has already changed. It's settled again. So we're gonna let all the settling happen. And then once that's all settled and hardened, then we can sand it. And what we will end up with is the actual shell of what we're gonna prime onto. But right now, it's a big milestone because this car is all put together. This body is ready to get finished and painted. We'll see, I think we'll achieve our goal. I'm sure that this car will be stunning. Oh my God, it's just beautiful right now. It's a big step from yesterday to today. It's a completely different car.
After all is said and done, George is rightly proud of the work that he and the team at CGA have pulled off, taking a Swiss cheese Charger one step closer to being the Black Diamond.
The two boys that are working with me, Costa, my partner, and Mike, I mean, we're only 3 people here. It's a small shop. Because we're 3 people, we can control the quality very well. We all work in the same manner, in the sense that we won't leave a flaw, we won't hide it. We don't need to hide it because, you know, it's just much easier to do it properly and finish with it than have to, you know, do it and then you know deep down inside that you left a flaw and eventually it'll bite you in the ass. There's no need for that. I think the philosophy is the same. So you know what, Costa does all the ironing out. I do the metal, Costa does the ironing out. Mike does a lot of the sanding. We've been working together for so long, it's almost like one person doing the car. And you know what, it works well. And they're a great help, or We each help each other. And I guess that's why we make nice, nice bodies.
Nick has to rely on other passionate and talented people to help him take these cars through incredible transformations. And he knows how fortunate he is to have them on the team.
Okay, let's go pick up the Galaxie. David just gave me a call and said the car's ready for picked up because we installed the front pipes to the exhaust manifolds that were on the 390. So we didn't put the headers back in the car, so he just gave me a call. So we're just gonna walk over there, it's just a few hundred yards, and then drive it back. I know it's a lousy day today, cloudy, a little bit cold. It doesn't matter. A little walk won't hurt. Let's go for it. It's gonna be fun to drive. I'd like to drive it hard, but I don't want to break anything. I'll just take it easy. I noticed it has a very thin drive shaft, but that's the way it came from the factory. I'll just cruise around with it. I want to make sure the shifter works because it got stuck on me one time when I just drove it here the other day. So I'll go around the block a couple of times to make sure it works. And at the same time, let's see how it sounds with the exhaust pipes hooked up to the manifolds. There's that prison. It's a rough neighborhood, yeah. Kind of messy over here. You know, it's too bad people can't keep their places clean. You know, I have a shop, and if I see a tire sitting in front of my shop, I want to make sure I get rid of it. Well, you know what, with the wind blowing so hard sometimes, you know, you can put a garbage can up over there, and the next day you find it a mile away. Anyways, let's go see David. At least we're on the right side of the fence. I used to see some inmates here and there once in a while. Now, I don't see them anymore. The big house. Okay, let's go see what's going on here. Okay, there's the car up on the lift. David, how are you?
I'm okay.
It's ready to go?
Yes, ready to go.
All done?
Yes, check this shoulder. Do that.
Okay,
Okay.
that's right.
Side.
Yeah. They're very small exhaust manifolds. What can you do?
Yeah, nothing.
So it won't touch the fork?
No.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of like those badges. They're awesome on this car. Too bad they don't make any for a 390. Maybe there is, I'm not sure. But right now, these are 427. Francis has got to replace them. Anyways, for now, I'll leave him on, and we'll take it from there. Okay, we're ready to drive off right now. Let me just say a big thank you to David.
Pleasure.
Thank you for your special work. I'll see you again, and let's take off for a ride, and let's see how much quieter it is right now. You ready, folks? Let's go. Let's hear it. All right, it's a tight fit now because we're on the lift. Okay, here we go. So nice and quiet. Sounds good to me. Now we got it nice and quiet. We got it running on its own. Let me tell you, it was worth building this carburetor. We had to rebuild it, of course. So I'm going to drive it around the block a couple of times. I want to make sure the shifter works well. Let me warm it up a bit. You know, we had the clutch removed, the flywheel's oil, and the shifter might have to be adjusted. But right now, I just love the sound of it. It's got a beautiful rumble to it, and it's a smooth ride. I guess that's all they were back in those days with these big luxury cars. And I got a little humming noise from the power steering, but it's probably low on oil, but I'll look into it later. But in the meantime, let's enjoy the ride. Okay, here we go. TAC works. It's charging. We have to do wiring on the, don't forget, a 64 Galaxie does not come with an alternator. It comes with a generator. So Robert and I and Manny, we've let the alternator on the car with the, we had to redesign the wiring to make the alternator work for this year, because this car was wired up with the old regulator with an alternator. Well, I guess Francis put the alternator in. But anyways, we got that fixed. And now if you take a good look, it's charging 14 volts. Oil pressure gauge works. Water temperature works. And we also had new spark plugs installed when we did the engine detailing, and also engine wiring harness for the spark plugs. You know what? It sounds a lot better now than it did with the open exhaust manifolds. I want to see if it goes in all 4 gears right now. We're in 2nd gear right now. 3rd gear. Clutch pedal feels great. God, it's so nice driving a car like this. Makes you feel young again. Tachometer works. Or should I say tachometer? Now this thing has an electric fan on the radiator, so I gotta look at it when we get back to the shop. I want to make sure it works, because I didn't let it run too long with the open exhaust manifolds. So now I'll do my further testing in the shop. But in the meantime, enjoy the ride with me. I don't want to rev it high. It's a factory 390 FE engine in it, but we don't care. It's not a racing engine. We're not going to beat it. My job is to install it, get it running, which I did, and then deliver the car. My job is to get it running, and we did. Another one done. Okay, let me check the temperature right now. I just got to make sure the fan works on the electric fan on the radiator. Alternator's doing fine, oil pressure is good. Temperature, it's at 200. And why? Let's go check to see if the fan is working. Here we go. Okay, the fan goes on and off. We have another one with a headlight. Oh well. All these old cars need headlights all the time. That one is good. Okay. Fan works, that's good. Sounds great, it's got a great sound to it. Wow, it's got no plates, I just realized. It's got no plates. Yeah, it doesn't matter, we just went up and down the street. Okay. I gotta bring down the RPM, it's too high. Okay. Come on, here we go. So smooth. Thunderbird. There we go. And now we got the fuel gauge to work. Check it out. Right over there. You know, this car came in, the fuel gauge was stuck on 8-9 pounds, even though without the electric pump working. Carburetor was, everything was dried up. We got that going. We also had the fuel replaced in the fuel tank. And now, this is the way it should be running. And you know what? It's got a great sound to it. Look at that. Listen to it. And it drives so smooth. So here you have it, you guys. It's a 1964 Ford Galaxie 500 XL with a 390 4-speed on the floor, black on black, with a bucket seats. Can't get better than that. And you guys, if you look down below the video, we have a whole bunch of merchandise that you guys can buy. So whatever you like, buy it, love it, wear it, and enjoy it. And help spread the word of Nick's Garage. And if you have some time, check out our Patreon page. We have extra content and you guys can watch it and take it from there. And we'll see you next time.